Good evening. My name is P.J. Turner. I'm a senior at Collegium Charter School in Exton, PA. On November 3rd, I had the opportunity to attend Thomas Jefferson's Bicentennial open house, and my personal experience on campus was absolutely phenomenal. The environment was very aesthetically pleasing. The campus was not only the perfect size, but was also very clean, and the community was very, very welcoming. Every question I had was answered with haste, and everybody that I spoke to was in a very positive mood, which made me feel this very, very strong sense of belonging at Jefferson University. Now, at the end of the day, I had the opportunity to attend a workshop where I was working with like-minded peers, and we watched a case study video based on Jaden, who is a student athlete. And after watching the video a few times, I found Jaden's personal account of his injury and the process of his recovery to be very inspiring. And the first point I'd like to discuss on the video about Jaden is his ability to push on in lieu of his injury. So he discussed that he was receiving 3 hours of physical therapy for 5 days a week post his injury. So during this time, he's receiving 15 hours of physical therapy every single week. And he didn't once back out or say, I need a day of rest or fight against the nurses or doctors that were helping him. He pushed through every single time. He fought. He was a fighter. He just kept pushing through for the sake of himself, for the sake of his team, for the sake of his family. He just kept pushing and pushing to improve, to get more independent, to get more comfortable in his position. And that is profound, watching him in light of his struggles, in light of his setbacks, just continuing to move on and move forward. And I can empathize with that, as I was born 3 months premature. And so I feel that I had had a lot of setbacks. I have had a lot of roadblocks that I've had to push on and keep fighting for, just like how Jaden does in his case. Now, the second point that I would like to discuss is Jaden's ability to also recognize the position that he's in. And while he is fighting for himself, he's not fighting against himself in the sense that he is beating himself down and saddening himself. He's not fighting against the doctors or nurses in his care. He's being cooperative with them. He understands where he is, and he knows that it's going to take small steps to get there, day in and day out. It's just small, continuous efforts to get him more independent, to have him be more comfortable. And he recognizes that there's hard work in that. And I also find that to be very inspiring. And I hope when I become a physical therapist to see patients just like that. I want to be able to see patients that are fighters for what they believe in and what they want to achieve. And I would love to see patients that are also easy enough on themselves where they recognize that they can't do everything in one day. I would love to interact with people like that. And so that ends my first thought. The second thing that I want to discuss is the kind of people we're going to see in a scenario like Jaden's. We're going to see physical therapists. We're going to see occupational therapists. We're going to see nutritionists. We're going to see clothing designers to help Jaden with adaptive clothing that fosters his independence and his comfortability. We're going to see people involved in biotech for scans and specialized equipment, also to foster his independence and his comfort. We're going to see the inclusion of general nurses and doctors, and we're going to see the inclusion of trauma specialists. In a case like Jaden's, having all of that ability and freedom taken away from you, just like that, can be very debilitating. And even though Jaden has such a positive can-do attitude, sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. And the trauma specialist is going to be the person who can do exactly that. But to reiterate, I want to really push along that my time at Jefferson was wonderful. Again, the community was unparalleled. The cleanliness and the aesthetic pleasingness was just on a whole different level. Even though I've only spent a short time at Jefferson, I can already see that I'm going to thrive. I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to be successful at Thomas Jefferson University. And so with that, I want to wish you all a good night. I want to thank you all for your time. I want to thank you all for watching my video, and I will see you on campus.